What's up, traders? Matt from the Trade Brigade here doing a technical analysis on ticker symbol VVOS for Vivos Therapeutics. On the left-hand side, we are looking at the daily time frame, and on the right-hand side, the 30-minute intraday time frame. First thing to point out is that this one did have a pretty sizable gap up this morning here, so we're just going to map out the obvious. Underneath today's low, the gap starts to fill down towards 410 and that daily 50 SMA, the blue line on our charts. The other thing, of course, is today's high, and I don't think it's coincidence here that if we just look at the IPO open price, it's very close to today's high. It's off by about 2 cents. So 707 on 709, today's actual high of day. That is no coincidence, right? Whenever you see a newer IPO and it goes sort of south, people who generally sell right here are the people who are looking to get out break even, whoever bought on the actual open right there and fell underwater. So that's one thing, a potential tool you can add to your toolkit if you ever decide to trade newer IPOs. Always use that opening reference as either resistance if you're below and or support if you are above. So that's the first thing here. The next thing is that if we get upside continuation, because of course we did gap up here, there's good volume coming in. If we get more upside continuation over 7, what are the numbers you want to be watching out for? I'd argue the first one is here, 820, and the next one is kind of up here, closer to 975, we'll call it. So those are upside targets from the daily. To the downside, of course, we discussed the gap, right? That's obviously going to start to fill under today's low, but I do expect a bump in the road down towards this 485 and maybe towards that $5 whole dollar as well. Maybe treat that as a zone where there could be some congestion before the gap fills all the way. Zooming in a bit here on the daily, the next thing I want to point out from this analysis perspective is if we go from the high of Friday to the open of today, which essentially is going to give us that overnight range, that gap range, where's the 50% mark of the gap, right? That's exactly today's low. So it does strike me as bullish that we're accepting here above the 50% mark of the gap fill instead of just slicing right through and filling it all the way. Now, ideally, it would have held up, green somewhere up here, but it's just one notch down, one notch less bullish that we're holding up above the 50%. If we start trading underneath the 50%, then you have to start to say, okay, maybe it's more likely we do fill the gap back down towards that 410. But as the chart currently sits, there was a nice lower wick put in at that level, which would have me, more neutral to slightly bullish the fact that we are holding, again, that 50% mark. Taking a look at the 30-minute intraday time frame chart, though, you can see it was a very, very indecisive day out there, which leaves me with more of a question mark, right? There's really no way to know what is going to happen when you have activity like this. So a sell, a pop at the open, then a sell back down to the low, and then into the end of the day, a nice ramping up. So there's no clear activity here. There's no clear edge to either the bulls or the bears. One level that I am seeing that you should keep on your radar is just going to be 6 the whole dollar, right? So if we use that number, maybe this will help give you a guide into tomorrow, right? If we consolidate up here, that's more bullish. If we consolidate down here, that's more bearish. Maybe you start looking for those downside targets. So 6 might help you in terms of seeing what may happen tomorrow. Do remember everything we've discussed with the 50% gap fill already from the daily perspective. To me, it's not abundantly clear at this point in time, but you have some numbers to pay attention to. If you enjoyed today's video or learned anything new, let me know down below in the comments section or by giving the video a thumbs up. Don't forget our main channel is linked in the description, and all of that being said, I wish you a green trading week.